You hear me? This
So,
is
okay,
going under.
let's cut the whole story short.
Yes.
We've got a right of admission. I don't condone this in my mall, so you can look who made it.
I'm saying here it's in Africa.
Yeah, this is Africa. Then you can't tell someone what to do or what to wear at which mall.
It's a public place.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You are dressing decently.
Oh, this is not decently. This is not decently. That's what you're saying.
People to track.
This is not. This is not.
Because I'm wearing African attire.
This is what you are trying to say. This is not decent.
It's not decent.
Oh, the way you wear it now is decent. That's what you call decent.
You are wearing Western. I'm wearing African.
This is African.
Africa.
This is African.
Call Gigi that.
Yeah, call Gigi to come.
Call
here.
Gigi.
Call them.
Call Gigi.
You're telling me I'm not supposed to wear African in Africa.
I'm saying.
What I say.
Oh.
This is a public place. You can practice your
It doesn't matter. We have a right to wear what we want to wear. You don't have to explain to us what.
I'm not allowing that. This is my mall.
This is your mall. Okay, nice then.
Right of admission, it's reserved.
For who?
For who? For who? For who?
Is there when you enter?
Yeah, but you're not saying if you're wearing your traditional stuff.
Yes, yes.
No, the man just goes off and then he can do whatever he do. He's walking around Momo. So
This is traditional. This is traditional. Beno mhlobo bani?
Phazamisa ukuthi sikhuluma isikhulu.
Mhlobo bani? Umntwana West.
Drop it.
What a disappointment.
I'm not going to argue with you, Sis. You can
Yeah,
take
man,
your
come
camera
on.
or whatever, but all that I'm saying
Okay,
is,
nice.
guys, don't
Hello.
sell them whatever they want to buy. They must just leave us.
Where do we even begin? So what you just saw, it's a video of a man wearing his Ndebele tradition, I'm assuming, visiting a click store and a manager telling him he is dressed in an inappropriate manner. Now, when I saw the name at Clicks SA being tagged, I was like, shame, Batong. Again, tagged in some shenanigan. I mean, not so long ago, they went through the Theresa May situation. And now they're tagged on another situation, and this time it's tribalism. And if I may remind you, on the Theresa May situation, we were being compared to soft, silky hair. Our hair was said to be not fine. I can't remember the exact words. I think it was broken and dull. And the other silk straight hair was presumed to be more of a better condition, right? Forgetting that, first of all, our hair types are not the same. Our hair resists gravity. It has volume. It's afro. And speaking from a natural perspective, as I'm a natural hair girl, our hair is naturally like that. That's how our hair has been. And if you look at history, our hair was not considered professional. We had to fight that, as African people, that our hair can also be considered professional. And I hope Theresa May educated themselves and they won't repeat the same mistake again, because it hurts, And unfortunately, Clicks was involved in the shenanigan that occurred. Now, if you listen closely to this video, you'll notice how the manager, the center manager, he says the attire that the man is wearing is not decent. And when he's asked, what do you consider decent, he says he is well dressed, in a decent manner. And if you look at his attire is more Western culture. And the African man, they're both African, but the other man with the traditional attire, his attire is more African. So again, now there's another comparison to the Western culture. The comparison again now that we're facing is that they are more decent, and an African attire is not decent, not professional. Before we were colonized and transitioned into the Western culture, we were African, right? The people who lived before us, and one would call them ancestors. Those who lived before you were African and embraced their culture, and then unfortunately that was taken away from them, and the generations that came after them, which is today's generation, we were now transitioned into the Western culture, conformed into it, and it so happened that we practiced it less. But then again, let me remind you that we in South Africa celebrate a day, Heritage Day, and that day, it's a day that you embrace a culture you are born into. You know, whether you're Motswana, Umuzulu, Mundebele, whatever it is, you celebrate your descendants and your culture. You know, you wear it and embrace it publicly. So what is it, are we now trying to say that we are only permitted to dress in our cultural attires only on that day, and then after that you're not supposed to wear that publicly? And if that's the case, why is the rule one-sided? You know, why doesn't it apply to all cultural practices? Disclaimer, I salute Islamic Muslim culture. They do not conform to the norms of the society. They stick to their roots. They are rooted in their roots, you know. And if I look at Africans, I would also say Zulu people are also rooted in their cultural beliefs, in what was believed before them. They try to still embrace it, right? As people, we live to learn and we live to educate each other. If you are wrong, then your mistakes can be corrected, right? The reason why I'm saying that is because I just learned today that the attire that Muslims wear, it's called hijab. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, and they embracively wear it in town, public areas, and whatever. If you look at the African men's attire, what's the difference there? You know, they both covered up, going all the way down. If I had to specify the difference, I'd say the other one it's Ndebele tribe tradition attire, and the other one it's a Muslimic. So the Twitter streets are divided, right? But what divided me personally is an African man telling another African man that you are dressed inappropriately. And if he points out why he's dressed inappropriately, he says, you are not decently dressed. And when he becomes more specific, he says, I'm decent dressed and you're not. He's saying the conformation that he has conformed to, the suit that he's wearing, that's Western culture, is decent, but his is not, right? But then someone else then commented, which kind of got me conflicted. He said stores have rules on how people should dress. Now I want to know what's the rule of that particular store on how people should dress. And if they say in a decent manner, define decent. Is African attire not decent? I mean, it's fine. You know, we've been unrooted from our roots. Myself too, I'm Motswana, and I can barely tell you much about my culture. But are you saying the way I dress and the way my culture presents itself, it's not decent? What's decent? It's the Western culture. But then again, as people, we live to learn and we live to be corrected. So we live in a day and age whereby people now record anything that they feel like it's wrong. As humans, as people, you see a camera, you start selecting and choosing your words very well. And when someone takes off their phone and records you, and you know that you're holding such a high position, you want to act responsibly and ask, you know, and maybe stop, pause, and realize maybe I'm wrong. How is this going to impact the rest of my life? What if I lose my job over someone's attire, you know, that they feel like they are being wrongfully accused of wearing in a public space? You stop, you pause, and you choose your words selectively, man. You act, you know, you act appropriately, and you ask, how am I wrong? Educate me. You know, maybe I'm wrong. As a country, we would have taken it lightly, and we would say it and look at it from a different perspective and say, you know what? At the end of the day, he's realizing that a camera is on, and the fact that he's being recorded, something is not right. Let me ask what's wrong and help me fix it. But then he continued, and he had the audacity to say, don't sell anything to him. Leave the store. This is a complex area. This is a public space area. That made me sad. I don't know if I'm wrong, guys. Educate me if I'm also wrong, but that just saddened me, because a man who is African just told someone they're wrongfully dressed and they should leave the store, just like that. They're not going to even help them. At least let them buy something, you know. But the fact that a camera is on and you still continue to speak with pride of ignorance and not being aware that maybe you're wrong. But guys, now I'm tired. I'm tired of the fact that we are fixing everything. We're fixing the fact that Black Lives Matter. After that, we're fixing that our hairs are professional. Now we have to fix that my attire and my culture can be embraced at any point in time. As we speak right now, this protest of students fixing a problem they feel like it's affecting their future. Not being able to register for your studies because a pandemic affected you financially. Your fees were not paid up due to pandemic reasons related. And what they're asking for is to at least study, they're also asking for cancellation of previous fees. But then they're asking, at least give me the opportunity to study and continue with my qualification. And once the student acquires and obtains that qualification, they can further go apply for a job, come back, pay off the debt. That's good. But then again, guys, I'm standing on the fact that this man was wrongfully accused. This situation shouldn't even be on the internet. Like, some things are literally not supposed to be on the net. Like, it shouldn't even have happened, There was supposed to be no big deal from this thing, but now that there is, we're realizing that not everybody's educated enough on tribalism and attires and people's cultural practices. Maybe manager had a point, and I'm interested to know what that point is. So if you know better, educate me. And I'm sure I'm exhausting you because now you also have to educate me, and you have to educate me continuously, and that can be exhausting because now I'm just tired of educating people on what's right and what's wrong. But then again, I'm opening my eyes to the fact that this might be life. We go around fixing things, we fix problems that were there before we were born, and we're trying to say, look, it's okay, this is how it's done. I'll look at it the positive side. I'll stop being negative about fixing. It's fine. But then again, if you stand with the store manager that nothing that he said was wrong, that he was legally right to say what he said, which right is that? I want to know. I'm interested, and I want to hear what you have to say.